This is Barbara with Cana Girl Speaks podcast. My voice, your voice. Good evening, everybody. This is Barbara with the Cana Girl Speaks podcast, and I am again excited to be recording a new episode on this evening. I'm excited to have this young man on this evening, and I'm glad that he took the time out to be on the Cana Girl Speaks podcast because I'm excited about the topic that he's going to kind of be talking about. It's something new. It's not something new, but something new to me, and also something new to the community. So I kind of wanted to get some information on it a little bit. And so without further ado, I want the listening audience and those that are watching on YouTube to know this is Cody Muldner. Hi, Cody.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much for accepting the invitation to be on the Cana Girl Speaks podcast. And so why don't you tell those that are watching on YouTube and those that are listening on the podcast who Cody Muldner is?
My name's Cody Muldner. I'm from Blooming Grove. Right now I'm running for Precinct 4 candidate for Precinct 4 County Commissioner. I've been hitting the trail pretty hard, working a lot, and over the last few weeks, this new Bitcoin mining facility has been a pretty hot topic. And I was at the press release whenever they dropped the information at the library, and when they said it, I was happy to hear it. I had absolutely no idea what it meant. And so I learned back in 2013, 2014, whenever I started restoring the courthouse, that if you want to get educated and informed, you better jump in head first.
That's right. So what is your career path? So they might not know what you do.
I'm a construction management major. I restored the courthouse 2014, 15, and 16.
And that's here in Corsicana.
Yes, in Navarre County Courthouse.
County.
And then after that, CISD brought me on board, and I oversaw the bond package for them, the $49.6 million bond package, and it probably a little over $5-6 million worth of just capital projects for them, baseball field, other stuff like that. So, and since I've wrapped up everything at CISD, I've been building houses in Navarre County around the lake and in Corsicana.
Oh, so you know that it's a very busy time now for real estate, and so I'm sure you've been real busy with building houses and selling houses, and I mean that's just they say it's a seller's market. So why I wanted you to come on is because, like you said, and I kind of just did a little note that the CEO Chad Harris of Bitcoin mining. Is that or is it mining or Whinstone?
Whinstone and Riot.
Riot. Yeah. He made an announcement a couple of weeks ago. Well, they made an announcement a couple of weeks ago that they were going to be building a mining facility in was it Hubbard or Dawson?
It's going to be just west of 2452 on 709. It's out past Corbett.
Okay. And so that is here in Navarre County. And so when they made the announcement at the economic development meeting, immediately people I can just imagine went to Google what Bitcoin was. I myself too, because I'm still traditional person. I still have a checkbook. I do swipe. I do have a card, a debit card. But Bitcoin was a new conversation, I think, to a lot of people. And so, I did know that people started Googling, trying to figure out what Bitcoin was. And so you got a chance, you and a few other people got a chance to actually tour the facility that he has now. So what, let's start. What did you learn from your visit at the facility?
A lot. We got there and we signed in, and we were supposed to go into a meeting at 11. They were going to brief us and give us a tour. Supposed to be done with a tour at about 11:45, and then we were going to go sit down for a Q&A session for a luncheon, and then we're supposed to be done about 12:45 to 1 o'clock. Well, we didn't leave there until 3:30.
Wow.
They were very welcoming and very accommodating, and to the point. They didn't try to sugarcoat anything. They what you see is what you get. They answered some hard questions. As one of the biggest concerns that I've fielded while I've been out on the campaign trail is a lot of people are curious about how this is going to impact the rural areas. They're worried about the noise. They're worried about the light pollution. They're worried about the increased traffic out there on 709 and 2452. And so instead of looking online and making phone calls, we loaded up and took a trip down there today. And I took a list of questions from my constituents out in Precinct 4, and it's a laundry list, and they sat there and went through every single one of them with me. The biggest concern has been the noise. And I would venture to say it's as quiet in here right now as it was in the F building that we stood in, and that's the building that has the liquid immersion cooling system. And that's a new technology that they come out with about a year ago. So two of their buildings have the loud fans and the humming. And then after we witnessed that and experienced that, they took us over to their new technology that's going to be used here. There's going to be 10 or 11 buildings of this liquid immersion cooling systems, and it's quiet. They had employees working 300 feet down from us. This building's 100 feet wide by 800 feet long. They mop the concrete floors every day.
Wow.
There's no trash inside. It's one of the cleanest plants I've ever been in my life.
So those that are watching on YouTube and listening also on the podcast, what explain to them, for those that haven't maybe did any research, Bitcoin. What kind of company is this company?
This company is a Bitcoin mining facility. Anybody can buy one of these mines and put in their house and run it, but the chances of actually finding a Bitcoin is very slim. And so what these companies are doing, I originally thought that Bitcoin was just a virtual currency. I learned today that that's not the case at all.
Okay.
Bitcoin is the future of the internet.
Oh, wow.
And so to where Google, Apple, and all of these big companies are governed by the government, the federal government, Bitcoin is more of a democracy, and it's the checks and balances comes from the members of the Bitcoin world. Oh, okay. So every transaction is looked at from every mining company in the world.
Wow.
It was an eye-opening experience because we said, "What is Bitcoin?" Yeah. And they said, "That's a 2 or 3 day long answer. It's not a simple answer." They said to see what Bitcoin really is, it's going to take 10 to 20 years for it to play out.
Wow.
And they said, what's the future of the internet? No one could answer that question back in the early 2000s, and no one still can answer what the future of the internet is. And the same thing for Bitcoin, but it's a progress and it's a growing industry. These facilities, these boxes, these mines, they search for Bitcoins out there. It's an 8-digit code, and these things just steadily work the internet looking for them. Out of this plant finds, they said 5 to 13 Bitcoins a day.
Wow.
And they're worth $200,000 a piece.
Wow.
So you're either making $1 million a day or $2.6 million a day, depends on how many you find. And is what I learned is the more they have big groups that go in and look for these, that try to mine these Bitcoins. And so there's a big pool of players. So whoever has the most mines active gets the biggest cut of the proceeds. It's like a cooperative effort. Okay. Everyone's looking for them. And if you're on the team that finds it, then everybody gets a piece of the pie.
Oh, wow.
But if you have the most facilities and the most mines working, you get the biggest piece of the pie.
Wow.
And that's why they're wanting to continue growing and putting more mines in the facilities.
Wow. So it's just kind of, I guess it's just kind of hard to wrap my mind around it because, like you said, it's the future, and so I think the younger people, and there might be some, that do the cryptocurrency and all that, and they're more into the know of what.
They're probably sitting here laughing at me right now because I don't know what it is. And that's all right. I can write in cursive.
Yeah. So as far as, the community, and, just the whole, we don't know. And, how can we as a community, how can we continue just to learn about, the mining, Bitcoin mining and stuff like that? How can what kind of reinsurance can we have as a community?
Chad Harris, the CEO.
Did y'all get a chance to see him?
We spent all day with him.
Oh, okay.
When we had the CEO, they brought in some barbecue sandwiches and served us drinks, and we'd sit there and we just talked very openly. We talked about everything. I've done a lot of research on the internet, and unfortunately, when you're on the internet, you only find what they want you to find. There's not the proof's in the pudding. Whenever I went down there and experienced it for myself, that's the best way to inform yourself and to become educated. And Chad, he wants everyone to understand and know what it is. He's actually coming to town tomorrow to meet with some folks. When I say tomorrow, today is the 11th. He'll be here on the 12th.
Okay.
And he's gonna go in and he's gonna talk to folks that are unsure, that don't know what it is. He's doing everything he can to educate and inform the folks around here.
So did y'all get a chance to talk to any of the community members that where this plant is? Because on how they feel about having the plant there.
Absolutely. That's the folks that traveled down there with me today share a property line with it.
Okay.
And their concern was noise.
Yeah.
And lights.
Yeah, okay.
And the road traffic. So once we walked into the facility, the liquid immersion facility, and saw how quiet it was, they said, "Oh, we're good. This ain't a big deal." And they said, "What about the lights?" And they said they're doing a light study right now, because right now at the Alcoa plant down in Rockdale, they sit out in the middle of 30,000 acres. There aren't any neighbors close to them. So it's not really apples to what we have here in Navarro County. And they're being very receptive to that and understanding. They're like, hey, these guys are going to face some problems that we're not facing down here, so let's be open to helping being a part of the solution for them. And so they're doing light studies right now to figure out how they can control their lighting to where they can light the facility, but not, take away our nighttime views of the stars. And they're being very receptive now. I appreciate them wanting to do that.
Wow, that's good.
But so once they saw it's going to be very quiet and they're not going to have a lot of light pollution, they were happy to hear that.
Well, I'm glad that he is, coming back to the community to talk to some of the community members that do have questions, about this company coming in. And it's so important that he connects to the community. Does he do a lot of community give back? Is he really in? Have you get a chance to talk to him about how involved he is in the community? Because that's one thing a bit to have a business in the community, but to also be involved in the community, because that's very important to me.
That was one of the laundry list questions that I had from the folks out in Precinct 4. Something that I thought was very cool is over on the wall, there was a picture of a couple hundred kids. Winstone Wright went to the Milam County livestock show and did an add-on for every single kid.
Really?
And has pictures, and they did an add-on to give back to the community. He met with the athletic director in Rockdale. They didn't have lights on their baseball fields. They had to play early games, couldn't play at night. They put $186,000 worth of lights in for them.
Really?
Yeah. They seem very, very giving and willing to give and wanting to give. He said, we want to be good neighbors. He said, y'all are going to be our community. We're going to hire within. We're going to, if we see that one of our employees is having a hard time, we want to help them. We want to be there for them.
Yeah.
We did ask him specifically about the 313 tax agreements. That's with the school districts. And right now is what we're experiencing. A lot of these solar farms are coming in and they're asking for the 313s. And is what that does is that limits the appraisal value of the property. It gives the school district some upfront money, but in the end, in the long term, the money's not all there. They're not going to be pursuing a 313 agreement. They said, we want to pay taxes to the schools.
Okay.
They said, why would we not want to pay tax to the schools?
Yeah.
They said, because the kids at those schools, we're going to hire those parents.
Yeah.
We're going to hire those kids. In Rockdale at the plant, Rockdale's not a very big. Milam County is only a 25,000 population county. They hired local, and they sent a lot of the locals they hired to Temple College to get the training they needed.
Oh, that's good.
And people that would otherwise not have a future, they started off boxing stuff up. Now they're shift supervisors.
Oh, wow.
With certificates from Temple College.
Wow.
And they want to find a way to do a joint venture with Navarro College to offer some of the same trades to where they can prep them here at Navarro College and put them to work out there.
Because I was just wondering about the jobs that they're going to have, because I'm like, in my mind, I'm thinking, are they going to be scientist people? I mean, that's what I was thinking. Like, what kind,
walking around in lab suits.
with their white coats. And I'm like, what kind of people are going to be working at this company, And so are they just, just regular people? Is it like a warehouse,
Very regular, ordinary people. It's going to be 900 full-time jobs.
Because that was a big confusion about, okay, is it 900 people building the plant, or is it 900 people actually working in the plant?
Once it's complete, it'll be 900 full-time employees. It'll be 7 days a week, 3 8-hour shifts per day.
Okay.
So 300, 300, 300.
Okay.
That's a lot of jobs.
Yes.
And their starting pay is $15 an hour, plus 401k, plus health insurance.
Okay.
They're wanting to take care of their people.
That's good.
And they seem like a very family-oriented, tight-knit community. They're eager about getting up here. And again, they're really wanting to give back to our economy and to our communities. They're wanting to be involved from anything from helping educate folks that wouldn't otherwise go to college, give them a little bit of training at Navarro and put them to work, give them an opportunity to work their way up in the company.
Okay. Well, Cody, it sounds like y'all had a very informative meeting with him today, and I'm glad you came back with some information, because I know, like you said, some people just they're kind of like, what kind of company is this, and they're wondering, So I know you're going to continue to share the information that y'all that you've learned, and I know, like you said, he's coming back to get with other community members to answer any questions they may have. And so, if there's anybody that needs to reach out, they may have a question. Is there a contact information where they can contact you if they have a question about what you've learned today? Can you share
Absolutely.
that?
They can find me on Facebook, just Cody Muldner, Muldner. I have a campaign page, Cody Muldner for Precinct 4 County Commissioner, or I'll even share my phone number. It's 903-467-8800. Call me, text me. If I don't answer, I'll respond as soon as I can. But I'm more than willing to inform you and keep everybody posted. I feel like one of my jobs as a candidate for county commissioner is to go out and find the answers.
Yeah.
Get out front, lead from out front, and be a good steward of the information and get it back to the folks. Not just go get the answers that I want to hear,
that you want to hear,
but answers everybody wants to hear.
And it is all about transparency, and that's what you want in your government entities is transparency. So, Cody, why don't you tell those that are watching on YouTube and also listening, when are your dates for voting for your position?
Early voting for Precinct 4 County Commissioner will be May 16th through 20th at the Annex Building here in Corsicana. And then voting day is May 24th, and that will be at all voting locations in all the out-of-town communities, churches, YMCA, Annex Building, and whatnot.
Okay. Well, I want to say thank you for taking the time out to be on the Cana Girl Speaks podcast. And I always give my guests an opportunity to give a shout-out. So go ahead and give a shout-out.
I'm going to do 2 shout-outs.
Okay, that's fine.
Chad Harris did ask me, he said, if you can, just tell them. I'm going to make sure I read this the right way.
Okay.
He said, I told him I was going to come do this, and he said, don't judge us. Give us a chance to show you who we are. We want to be involved. We want to be a part of the community. Just give us a chance and let us show you the proofs in the pudding. And so I told him I'd say that. So I said that. As far as a shout out on my end, I've got to give a quick, loud shout out to my wife, Christine, because this campaign had started in November. And it's been ongoing. It's night and day. It's a full-time job. And she's been a champ through every bit of it. My kids, it's been busy.
Yeah.
It's been busy, and it's taken a toll. But if my heart wasn't in it, I wouldn't be working as hard as I am. And they believe in me. And that's the motivation I need to keep on going.
Okay. Well, he said it. And so he gave you the dates for voting. It's coming up. And so if you go to the polls and exercise your rights. And so with that being said, I want to say thank you for always supporting the Cana Girl Speaks podcast. Have a good week and a good weekend. Thank you.
This is a Legacy Recording Studio production.